Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, St. Andrew teen crushed in shipping container incident. A teenager was crushed to death inside a shipping container that he was unloading in his community of Grand Span in St. Andrew on Friday night. The deceased has been identified as Gary Jones, 18. The incident happened about 8:30 p.m. The container was reportedly laden with boxes of laminated glass. One of the boxes reportedly fell on Jones. The Grand Span police are investigating. St. Anne vendor found hanging. The St. Anne police are investigating the suspected suicide of 61-year-old Devon Sinclair, a vendor from Gravel Hill in St. Anne's Bay. His body was found on Saturday morning, hanging from a tree with an electrical cord around his neck at the back of his premises. The police processed the scene and the body was taken to a funeral home. If you are struggling today or need to talk to someone about you or someone else's mental health, contact the Jamaica Mental Health and the Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888-639-5433. The helpline is a service provided by Ministry of Health and Wellness, providing mental health support over phone to the Jamaican public. St. Andrew Mason charged with murder. A Mason accused of fatally shooting a man during an argument at the now-deceased home in Blue Mountain, Red Hills in St. Andrew has been charged with murder. Dead is a 36-year-old welder, Marlon Newsome. Charged with his death is 29-year-old Fitzroy Taylor, otherwise called Kenroy, a Mason of a Blue Mountain, Red Hills address. Taylor is also charged with using a firearm to commit a felony, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Reports are that about 7 a.m., Newsome was at home on his veranda when he and Taylor had an altercation. During the fracas, Taylor allegedly used a firearm to shoot Newsome several times. A report was made to the police and Newsome was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation into the matter, Taylor was arrested. He was charged on Friday, August 23, after he did a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. A court date for Taylor has not yet been finalized. Man charged, accomplice being sought following gun seizure in Kingston. A man has been charged with several offenses under the Firearms Act after he and his accomplice allegedly fired at a police team in an attempt to evade them on Eureka Road in Kingston on Wednesday, August 14. Charged is 21-year-old Devon Fraser, otherwise called DV, of 4th Avenue, Kingston 3. He is charged with assault at a common law, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and malicious destruction of property. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that about 11:45 p.m., a police team was in the area when they saw Fraser and another man aboard a motorcycle. When Fraser and his accomplice saw the lawmen, it is alleged that the duo fired shots at the police to try and evade them. The gunfire was returned and the motorcycle crashed, pinning Fraser underneath the vehicle, police said. His accomplice escaped. Fraser was caught and searched, and following a further check of the area, a .38 special revolver containing 6.38 cartridges was reportedly found nearby. Fraser was subsequently taken into custody. He was charged with the offenses on Friday. A court date for Fraser has not yet been finalized. His accomplice is currently being sought by the police. Jockey shot and killed in Portmore, St. Catherine. The St. Catherine South Police have launched an investigation into the gunslaying of a man in Portmore on Thursday. He has been identified as a 34-year-old Jerome Lynch, otherwise called a Jockey, of Waterford, Portmore, St. Catherine. It is reported that about 11:30 a.m., Lynch was walking along Waterford Parkway in the vicinity of a car wash when he was shot and killed by unknown assailants. Attempt to bribe a cop backfires. A motorist found himself in trouble with the law after he reportedly acted on an alleged suggestion from a policeman to pay a bribe in order not to be prosecuted for a traffic offense. The police say, "What can I do for myself?" And I told him, "I'll help myself." And him say, "Put it in the envelope." Defendant Ricardo McDermott shared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. It was shared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday that McDermott was driving along a corporate area thoroughfare when he was stopped by the police for breaching the Road Traffic Act. The breach was not stated in court, but prosecutors indicated that McDermott said to the team of police that "we can do something for your team." It is further alleged that the motorist went to his vehicle and returned with an envelope containing $5,000. Prosecutors shared further that McDermott said, "Me not pay no ticket." Based on the prevalence of those actions, he didn't think much of it, Your Honor. The attorney at law, Sasha Dennis, told the court. Parish Judge Simone Walker McFarlane told McDermott that when you breach the Road Traffic Act, you are supposed to get a ticket. McDermott pleaded guilty to bribery and indecent language. Judge Walker McFarlane indicated that the maximum fine for bribing a police officer was $1 million. She then fined him $100,000 or 10 days imprisonment for bribery and $1,000 or 4 days imprisonment on the count of indecent language. 50-year-old vendor shot dead, 2 men held and charged. 2 men have been charged with murder, using a firearm to commit a felony, and the possession of prohibited weapon following a shooting incident in Golden Springs Square, St. Andrew, that claimed the life of 50-year-old Christopher McKenzie, otherwise called Youth, a vendor of Mount Pleasant District in St. Andrew, on Monday, August 12th. Charged are 24-year-old Akeem Gooden, otherwise called the Slippers Man, taxi operator of 3 East Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, and 24-year-old Markian Slater, otherwise called Tolo, laborer of Cassava Peace, Kingston 8. Reports from the Stony Hill police are that at about 12:12 a.m., Mackenzie was at his stall when he was pounced upon by 2 gunmen traveling in a Toyota Voxy motor car. One of the men opened a gunfire at Mackenzie, hitting him. While trying to escape, the gunmen were intercepted by a police team on patrol in the area. They were accosted and searched, and one Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol with an empty magazine was seized. The scene was processed and Mackenzie was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. On Friday, August 23, both suspects were charged after a question and answer session in the presence of their attorneys. Their court date is being finalized. Blake talks tough after 25 shot in 2 mass shooting incidents. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake has issued a call to action for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, emphasizing the overwhelming demand from Jamaicans for enhanced security. Blake said the police must act decisively to restore peace and safety across communities. The majority of Jamaicans have had enough. They are relying on us, the security forces, to combat this evil and restore peace in our communities, Blake stated. His declaration comes in the wake of escalating violence that has shaken Jamaica. 25 persons have been shot in 2 incidents in separate parts of the country in as many weeks. In one incident, which took place at the Cherry Tree Lane, 4 parts of Clarendon on August 11, 8 persons lost their lives and 7 others were injured after gunmen opened fire on patrons at a bingo party. 10 days later, gunmen fired on persons at a wake in Point Hill, St. Catherine, killing 1 person and injuring 7 others. As of press time on Thursday, the JCF has not updated its website to reflect the number of violent crimes recorded since the start of the year. The latest data covers the period January 1 to August 3. It reveals that 692 murders were recorded over the period, which is a 15.6% reduction when compared with the corresponding period last year. Shooting was down 14%, with 629 incidents recorded up to August 3. Meanwhile, Blake said a critical aspect of restoring peace to communities is the elimination of criminal gangs. He, however, highlighted the importance of a strategic and measured response. While we remain focused on our mission, we must remember that only a few individuals pose a major threat to community peace and security, he explained. The commissioner emphasized that the JCF's strategy involves not only targeting these criminals, but also engaging constructively with law-abiding citizens. This approach requires the JCF to balance rigorous law enforcement with efforts to build and maintain community trust. To effectively combat crime, we need to identify and target the few who are major threats, while also working to win the support and the cooperation of the rest of the community, Blake said. Minister of National Security Dr. Hes Chang has sought to reassure the nation that the government continues to support the work of the JCF in its efforts to disrupt the gangs. We will continue to give support to the police. We'll continue to enable them to find, identify, and prosecute gunmen out there, Chang said. As we equip the police, the criminals can run, but they cannot hide. We'll find them, the security minister stressed. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.